Welcome to 144,000 Teachers, the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb. On day number 8 of the agenda, we are offering wild plants good to eat. We will be visiting every continent because every continent contains wild plants for us to eat. So this particular book here offering the 29 plants that may save your life is from America. We also have Africa, Australia, China, and Europe. So this is to give you a taste and to assure you that in every continent, the Creator has made sure to plant some wild food that you can eat and recognize them as that they could save your life. Just to give you a brief taste of this book is included in the library in 144,000 teacher of this website. And basically those 19 books are a collection on survival in many subjects, but in particular this one is for wild food. And you may surely recognize this wonderful miracle plant. This is aloe vera, can be eaten and as well used for medicine. And you may need to recognize all this. And we encourage you to take the link of each one of these books that we will be presenting so that you can go back to it and find again those wonderful information. In this particular book, we will not have time to read it. This is simply a presentation to attract you to start studying wild plants in your area. But this book is very informative as it actually gives you not only the plant, but the food sources, the food value, the nutrient for this food. It's an excellent book. So here we have the wild food sources and the plants that you can eat. And this book also comes with the picture, which is really nice. Try to buy a book if you buy one that has the picture. That will save you also to try to figure out the plants beside the description of the plants, especially if you just start with the plants. It's not always easy. So here we have black walnut, white walnuts, hazelnuts, American lotus, and then you have sources of vitamins and mineral plants such as white pine, dandelion, evening primrose. Many people have heard about those. As far as natural health remedy, you have wild garlic, burdock, echinacea, ginger, white willow, opium poppy. So it's a very, very beautiful book to read. So we're just going to present here an entry and giving you some introduction information, and the other books could be used the same way. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you are forced to forage for wild foods and or herbal medicines, then the following chapters contain knowledge that may very well save your life. In fact, they describe 29 essential plants that you definitely need to know about and answers for each plant the 5 questions. What is it good for? Where do I find it? How do I identify it? How do I prepare it? Can I cultivate it in my garden? Also, each of the 29 plants described in the following chapters were chosen specifically because they provide either essential forms of energy that serves as fuel for the human body, essential vitamins and minerals that prevent certain debilitating conditions such as beriberi and scurvy, or serve to replace essential health remedies that we normally keep in our medicine cabinet. Consequently, you may notice that the following book is divided into 3 separate sections that describe wild food sources, natural sources of vitamins and minerals, and plants that serve as natural forms of medicine. Beautiful book. Furthermore, and it's free and you can print it. You may also notice that wild food sources section is further categorized by dividing the plants into leafy vegetables, roots, tubers, bulbs, fruits, berries, nuts, and seeds, each of which provides essential vitamins, mineral, fat, proteins, and or carbohydrates, which are the 5 nutrients of the body. That's what you need to live on. Vitamins, mineral, fats, protein, and or carbohydrates. Also, the natural sources of vitamins and minerals section specifically lists 3 easy to find and identify plants that provide essential vitamins and minerals that the human body absolutely must have in sufficient quantities to function properly. And the natural health remedies section specifically lists 10 common plant species that alleviate common ailments as cough, upset stomachs, as well as replacing antiseptic and antibiotic ointments. So you want to go into the field, into the forest, and start learning those wonderful, wonderful natural plants that the Creator has thought in advance in His wisdom to create and give us. Wild food sources, as we continue here to the introduction, we want to make sure that you understand that you need your nutrient to survive. And that's why this is when this book is so important, and it will be applicable for all the other books, is you want to learn those nutrients and eat the plant according to the nutrient, not just because it's a plant. And actually, when we give nutrition class, this is how we teach. We do not necessarily want to know from the student if this is an apple or a banana or a coconut. You should know why you're eating that plant for. Is it for mineral, for vitamins, for protein, for carbohydrate, or for fat? Those 5 essential nutrients in your body. And of course, the 6th one is water. Very, very important to start learning your food this way. Learn if those foods contain the 5 nutrients per day. And this is how you're going to remain healthy. So without doing any sort of work whatsoever, the average human burn over 2,000 calories per day and 45 calories per hours. Even if you do a mild physical exertion, you can boost that requirement to 3,500 calories per day. So therefore, if you find yourself in a survival situation, you need to relax as much as possible, remain calm, and conserve energy if food is scarce. So you must plan your foraging missions accordingly so you do not get scared and you do not use the extra energy that you have, because you will need that. Energy needs. As we mentioned here, the average human requires a minimum calorie intake of 2,000 calories per day, and fat offers 1 gram produces 9 calories. Protein, 1 gram produces 4 calories. Carbohydrate, 1 gram produces 4 calories. You can see those are important instruction. And in the wild, you can find nuts and seeds, which are excellent source of fat and protein. Fruits and berries, their source of sugars, carbohydrate, roots, tubers, and bulbs, sugar, starch, carbohydrate, and leafy vegetable, of course, vitamins and minerals. As we continue with the fats, those are molecules that are made by combining carbon, hydrogen, oxygen atom, and like carbohydrates, they are a concentrated source of energy. So you would think that you're in a biochemistry class today or for a diet class. Yes, that's what it is. We do not eat the food for the sake of eating the food. We need to know if every day we are eating the food to receive the nutrients that we need. So this is why when you start eating fruits or vegetable, you must know the nutrient in these fruits and vegetable. So from now on, you do not eat an apple or a banana because it's an apple and a banana. You eat those because they contain, number 1, vitamins, number 2, carbohydrates. Some even foods contain also protein, etc. Like avocado, you can get the fat in there. So there are a lot of fruits and vegetables that will give you all of your nutrient. But if you eat the same fruit and the same vegetable, you may not get the right nutrient. All right, so It should be noted that fats produce twice the energy of carbohydrate, and thus they are an extremely important source of energy. Also, fats store vitamins and minerals, and thus they are imperative to a balanced hunter-gatherer diet. In addition, fats serve to heat and insulate the human body, protect organs, lubricate the alimentary tract, and build an energy reserve. And they are found in animals, fish, eggs, and milk if you eat meat. For vegan and vegetarian, nuts and some vegetables and fungi. However, fats are also insoluble in water, and thus they require a lengthy digestive process with an adequate intake of water before they can be absorbed by the human body. I hope by now you are starting to understand that food was never intended to be eaten for the sake of food. Food is your medicine. Your medicine is your food. So we eat to remain healthy. Even in the case of eating edible wild food, you can still apply this knowledge to remain healthy. Very important. Many people eat just for the sake of food and they mix everything and they know it's an apple and a banana, but they do not know, or, even in the world of animal eater, they do not even know why they're eating. They simply eat. And that's why many people find themselves sick, lacking certain of those nutrients, and then it's very hard for the body to regain this particular valuable nutrient. Proteins. Proteins are highly complex molecules made up of chemical structures known as amino acids, and they combine in thousands of different ways, and the human body uses protein to generate new muscle tissues, heal abrasions and wounds, and repair other physical damage. Also, the main sources of proteins are meat, fish, eggs, milk, nuts, and fungi. However, it should be noted that while meat contains all of the amino acids, the human body needs to remain healthy. Plants do not unless a sufficient range is eaten. So this is what the difference with plants compare with the food from your garden. So you need to really know your content. Also, in the event that carbohydrates are missing from the diet, protein is used by the human body to generate energy as well. But it should be noted that this is done at the expense of other bodily needs and that it will cause the body to start consuming its own stored fat. Carbohydrate, which are sugars, are molecules synthesized by plant by combining carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen atoms, and thus they are easily converted into energy by the human body. So far we have the fat, we have the protein and carbohydrate that will give you your energy. They do not require a large intake of water to digest. Carbohydrates are the main source of energy for the human body, and thus they serve to supply the fuel needed for running the nervous system, which has to do with your brain, maintaining internal functions, producing heat, and performing physical exertion. In addition, consuming carbohydrates prevent a condition known as ketosis, which consists of indigestion, nausea, vomiting, caused by the excessive breakdown of body fats during starvation. Furthermore, it should be noted that there are two different types of carbohydrate, which consist of sugar that are found in fruits and certain plants like sugarcane, and starches that are found in grain, roots, tubers, and bulb. However, it should also be noted that carbohydrates lack vitamin B and that overconsumption may cause constipation. Note that starch granules are insoluble in cold water, but heat causes them to rupture, and this is why roots, tubers, and bulbs are always cooked before consumption as a food source. So remember this. So this is in the wild, but this class here could be applicable for the wonderful garden that you have and the plants that you grow. So when you plan to do a garden, you plan according to the nutrients. Some people may end up to have only leaf garden because they love the salad and all the leaf, but that is not sufficient. you need all the nutrient for your food. And I'm just going to scroll here slowly to show you. I'm not going to read because we want to go to the other continent. But this we believe was important because you're going to do the same study with the other continent as well. Very, very important. And of course, we're giving you here the link for your perusal, and it's in 144,000 teachers in the library, and it's the wild plants. And every one of those plants here, as you can see, are well identified even after they have started seeding. When you see the seeding here, this is how the plants reproduce itself. This is before it is in seeds. So beautiful. And it gives you the nutrient, the taste of it, the height of it, and how to cook it even, or to use it natural without cooking. So this is a beautiful recipe book, you could say, of food in the wild. And at the same time, many of those plants have been adopted and they're now found in the garden. Flowers also are very important. Do not neglect the flower. Flowers have nutrient, and you can eat the stem, you can eat the roots, you can eat all the parts of that plant. It's beautiful. And of course, not all the plants are here. You may want to get yourself some books that gives you a variety, but do not buy too many because you may get overwhelmed and never study any of them. So buy one for your precise area, which is advantageous, and start studying it, because you will not recognize the plant just like that. It's something that takes a little while. So we encourage you to do your research in this particular book, as we now will transfer to another continent, but this time without all the biochemistry explanation that we chose to give you. This is now Africa, and look how wonderful this is. Make sure you take the link here, because this was chosen on the internet at random, but we felt that this one was very, very good. And the plants, for some of you, you may recognize them. Some are also found in America, like okra. And here we have different plant, desert dates. Of course, dates are delicious. Everybody knows dates. Even if we don't grow them in certain area of Canada, United States, we can purchase them. And here we have melon, wild cucumber, figs. Many people know figs, monkey orange. So beautiful, eatable plants of Africa. So if that is a starter for you, this is a PDF format that we chose, so you can definitely copy it for educational purposes. Make copies of it, and that could be your book. You can just bind it and keep it and start studying it. And again, it does not give all the nutrients, so you know now about the bulb, and you know about the different parts of the plants and the name of the plant. Like here, for example, millet, this is a grain. Very important to have your grain in your food, in your diet, survival diet and lifestyle. And you could even get used to it maybe for 1 week. Go to the forest, get familiar with the plants, and then the next week, just pass the whole week eating in the wild. That will get you accustomed to it. And it's a very good study lesson. So this booklet is marvelous, even if we do not recognize all the plants like burgoo and desert panic. And this is from Mauritania, West Africa, to the Sudan and Tanzania, Mauritania. So these are beautiful explanation here as well, as you can see. And it's a cereal. Desert panic is a cereal commonly harvested in Niger today by Tuareg women. Wow. So here we have beautiful studies from all over the world. And if you are from this particular continent, you can see here you have plants from Ethiopia. Some are found all over Africa, like yam. We have yam here as well. So some are common plant in a way. And having been to Africa, I have recognized many of the plants that we have here as well. So start being knowledgeable, and they give you even the reference where to find these wonderful plants. So further your area and your research, if you're from Canada or United States, on Africa. So now we're going to be visiting Australia, Tasmania. This is the name of the country where it's found. And this is wonderful too. Lots of eatable native plants. And they'll give you here the name of it. And you can start looking at those code here. So which means that this can be eaten. You can make a tea obviously here with that. And if you read those code, they're very educational. And the plants. So we could not make that a little bit bigger, but oops, sorry. We can at least scroll it down. Let's go back. We can scroll it down slowly like this. It's a different scroll. And you can see how many beautiful plants. Again, you can buy yourself a wonderful book that will give you some instruction as to what you do with those plants, and they give you quite a bit of instruction here even on that page. So you may want to visit it. It's not very large, but it has a lot of plant into it. You cannot really increase them, but it will still give you an idea of the wonderful plants that have been put there in the wild in order to feed you in case you are lost or in case you have to feed yourself with edible plants in the forest. The next one that we have chosen is China. This one is a very, very beautiful writing. If you want to take the time to read it, it's a research, and it talks about the knowledge of wild edible plant, which is an important part of traditional knowledge. And it is closely related to traditional human agriculture as well as biodiversity. And this is a study done by scientists aimed to conduct a detailed investigation and evaluation of wild edible plants that are collected and consumed by the Mongolian and Han locals in Dagingu, and to provide valuable data for the development and utilization of plant resources. So they describe here the method that they follow in order to do this wonderful research. And must admit, it's very interesting to read. And here it says that it takes you to Mongolia, where people provided 67 folk names of plants and corresponding to 57 wild plants. And the Chinese provided 58 folk names corresponding to 49 wild plants. In total, 61 edible wild plant species belonging to 29 families and 52 genera were recorded as edible resources for the local in Dagingu. The uses include grain, oil, fat, vegetable, fruits, beverage, condiment, and snack. The most commonly reported purpose of wild edible plants is using them as vegetable, following by using them as beverage and fruits. The most widely used edible parts are fruits, leaves, and other aerial parts. Eating raw and cooked plants are the usual methods of consuming wild edible plants according to the locals. In addition, the CFSI of 61 wild edible plant species shows that 27 species have characteristic of medical food. So you can see the knowledge is so incredible. Here are the people from Mongolia, which is at the border of Russia and, of course, China. And this is wonderful to read. I encourage you to read this article. It's not that long. Very, very, very important. And what it says here, it's since 1992, as party to the Convention on Biological Diversity, China has made positive efforts in the protection and inheritance of traditional knowledge related to biological diversity and biological resources. The diversity of traditional edible plants resources and related knowledge are important aspects of traditional knowledge and biodiversity. They have a significant impact on the conservation and sustainable development of regional biodiversity. So we encourage you definitely to do the same for your continent, your area, and learn learn edible plant and medicinal plant. And this is our last one. This one is from Europe, more specifically Britain and Ireland. And we're just going to scroll this one slowly for you to look at it. The only thing is they do not show the picture of the plants. It starts with a picture on the cover, and you can see here echinaceas and different plants that we have here actually in Canada, some asters, and we have definitely the same plants can be found in many, many continents. So this is a list of edible and medicinal wild plant of Britain and Ireland. A very, very good effort. And again, this was simply obtained on searching on the internet. And we give you here again the link for your perusal if you want to go back at this book. This is fairly young, 2019. Although, even though they are books that are much older, the plants still exist and the information are very, very good. So always try to read also the information. As you see, black mustard, blackberry, burdock, chickweed, those we know those names. Most of us know those plant in America. It looks like when the birds are flying or when people are traveling, they very well transport those seeds, and that's how many of them have been coming to our countries and continents, and we're very grateful for that knowledge. So we're going to leave it here for this particular research now, and we hope that you have enjoyed the use of wild plant as food and medicine. And you can see we have done it on purpose to cover the 5 continents so that nobody can say that it's not the same in my country. I don't have it there. Yes, it may not be the same plants, but you have wild plants. And take the time to study them, as they have been known for centuries and centuries. And people have taken the time to do some catalogs of them. And it's very, very encouraging. So may we thank the creator of the universe for providing for us, even in the wild, plants that are source of protein, carbohydrate, fatty acid, and of course minerals and vitamins. So you can see in every continent people have that knowledge. So may the Lord bless you and protect you and keep you healthy, even if at some point in the coming time you will have to eat from the wild. Don't be afraid. He has provided. And his kitchen is as much valuable, even more valuable in the wild than it is in your own kitchen, because it provides you with all the nutrients you need. May the Lord bless you and cause his face to shine upon you and give you peace always.